Good morning. It's Miss Betty, and I'm getting ready to start my cooking on Farm Ridge today. How's everybody? Well, this is the pre-Thanksgiving weekend, so there's a lot of prepping that needs to be done. So I'm already getting started, and today we are going to make some fresh green beans. But of course, before we can put them in that pot that you see behind me, we got some work to do. So what you do is you take the bean. To those that don't know, this is for my seasoned cooks. You already know what to do. But you take the end, break it off. Break it off. They call them snap beans because you snap them. Now, if you do not want all of your beans to be snapped, and I've done this, you can leave some whole. And you just wait till you get your whole bowl full. Meanwhile, in my cast iron Dutch oven, I have some smoked turkey. No, I don't. I have some smoked neck bones that I have in that pot. I season it with some seasoning salt and some diced onions. And when my beans are ready, I will wash them, and then I will put them in the pot, and I will probably cook them for about an hour. Meanwhile, Miss Betty has so much more to do for this Thanksgiving weekend. I think I'm going to be in the kitchen all day again this Saturday, but there's no better place to be than at home cooking on Farm Ridge, and I love it. So, looking at this pot, you can tell I got a ways to go. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is Miss Betty, and I am back. I have snapped my beans, and I bet you wonder, why didn't she just buy a can of green beans? That would have been easy, but this is so much more rewarding at the end. Nothing like the fresh green beans, or as we called them back in the day, those snap beans. Whew, when my mama used to make me snap those beans, I would be so mad that I would cry. But do you know everything that they taught us back in the day have made us the cooks that we are now? So that's why I am taking all of this time just to show those that want to learn how to cook. And I'm not here to teach you how to cook, but I'm only here to show you how I cook. Now, because I'm getting better with my camera, it's just that my work area is not what it should be, but when y'all make me famous, I'm going to remodel my kitchen. Meanwhile, we're going to do it my way. So, this is my meat that I have cooking for my beans. It's some smoked neck bones. And I diced a little onion and put in it. It's ready to go because that's something that you want to cook ahead of time. And then it won't take your beans that long. Now, you can put them in at the same time, but your meat won't be done. So what I'm going to do is, this is 3 pounds of green beans that I bought at the store yesterday. I was in the produce department, and if you don't know, that's my favorite section of the store. When I see all this fresh stuff, I just go crazy. So anyway, I bought 3 pounds of fresh string beans, and I'm going to pour them in the pot. Now, seasoning beans of any sort is almost the same. So when I season my food, the reason why all my food tastes the same is because I season it the same. So whether this was pinto beans, lima beans, purple whole peas, I would still put the same thing in it. You can use ham hock. You can use no meat at all if you are one of those new veggie peoples, because you can cook this without meat. But I also peeled and cubed up 3 red potatoes. I'm not going to put those in yet because my beans need to get done, and I don't want my potatoes to be mushy, so I'll put my potatoes in last. Always buy red potatoes when you're cooking because red potatoes are firmer and they will hold their shape and give you the texture that you need. The white potatoes are for mashing and other things, okay? That's what I've learned. So, to season my beans, I'm going to add 1 ounce of canola oil. I'm also going to just sprinkle in. And, you know, my motto is always sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. But, excuse me, it's probably only a teaspoon. So we're going to sprinkle in a little seasoning salt. We're going to sprinkle in a little black pepper. It's probably about 1/4. And something that I learned while I was cooking, is that sometimes it tastes like your food, there's something missing. Add salt. I don't know, salt just brings it out. So I'm gonna sprinkle in a little salt, and as of late, I've started using kosher salt. I really like it. Okay, put a little bit in. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Now, sometimes I go back and I add stuff off camera because, you know, I have to taste it and make sure that it tastes like I want it to taste. So that's what I want you to do. I'm showing you what I use, but then I want you to take it and make it your own, okay? So I'm gonna add 1 little part of pepper. And this is my pepper sauce that I make myself. Jalapeno peppers and peppers from the store. I take it and I put it in a pot of water with half vinegar. I boil it, bring it to a boil, add a little bit of sugar, and then I make my own pepper sauce. So I'm gonna pour a little of that juice in there. And I'm gonna add a half stick of butter. So now I've really just seasoned my beans. Now, if you like sugar in your beans, you can add sugar. You already know I'm that sugar girl. I'm not going to add no sugar because I don't want all those thumbs down saying, you put sugar in your food. I do, but that's totally optional. So, I've showed you what I put in my beans. I'm going to let these beans come and cook halfway down, which is going to probably be about 30 minutes. And then I'll come back, I'll add my potatoes, and when I am all done, I will show you the finished project. But man, I got a lot of stuff to do today. I got a whole case of collard greens that I have to cook. I have to make my turkey and, my chicken broth. But it's all in a day's work when you're cooking on Farm Ridge. I'll be back. Hi everybody, I'm back. And my beans are cooking quite nicely. So now I'm gonna add my 3 red potatoes into my cooked beans. And we're not gonna cook them until they're mushy, but we're gonna cook them until they're really nice and done. All my seasonings is in this pot. And because I can't get the camera close enough to the pot, how about if I bring the pot close enough to the camera? But we're gonna work this thing out, you know we will. Okay, so here's my beans. Oh, don't that look good? Ah, that looks so good. That's gonna be scrumptious. So, now that I've added my potatoes, I'm gonna turn my fire up on the stove. And let's turn that a little bit. Okay. All right, so I got that in. Bring it back to a boil. Put my lid on it. And if I need any more seasonings, I will add them. But it looks good. It's always fun cooking on Farm Ridge. What a joy it is to just be blessed enough to be still in the land of the living. So you use some green beans today, you snap them and you put them in a pot and you cook them and you start enjoying some home-cooked meals, okay? Everything do not have to come from the store. It's time for us to start back cooking at home and bringing this thing home. So here is the finished product of my green beans / snap beans. I've added my potatoes and they are cooking quite nicely. And stir them up just a little bit. You can look at all that rich broth that's in there. Again, remember, I added some Lawry seasoning. I added black pepper, some kosher salt, a half a stick of butter, and 1 ounce of canola oil. I also have in my pot smoked neck bones, and that's the meat that's going to flavor my beans. And this is going to be a wonderful dish. So remember, it don't always have to come from the store. You can cook it with your own hands. Green beans and potatoes, a family staple. This is Betty on Farm Ridge, and you make it a great day.